My favorite part of doing this podcast is watching your little dance moves that you come up with. And every single time, I feel like you add a new little ritual. This time it's wave to the camera.
That's right. Wave to the banana.
Wave to the camera.
cameras.
Do a few pistol peeps.
That's right.
But the best is your smile. Welcome to the Jana and Jason podcast, Living Lucky. And boy, I feel like we're living lucky because we get to interview not only a special friend of ours today, but I feel like somebody who is also living lucky. Wouldn't you describe him as that?
I would definitely describe Keith as someone who lives lucky. And it's about the way he crafts his mind and lives intentionally to live lucky every day.
Chooses.
Yes.
He chooses to live lucky because it's in the way we perceive our circumstances.
And he helps other people live in that same mindset. I mean,
which is a big part of it.
That. Yeah.
That is a big part of it. Is
absolutely.
When you start showing up for yourself, then it only makes sense to start helping the people around you. So before I go any further, I'm going to bring Keith Greiveldinger onto the set. Hi, Keith. What's up?
Woo! I need like a little dance, my pistol teeth moving, all that. Dude,
put the guns away.
I'm learning. See, you guys are influencing me, and wow, I feel lucky just to be a part of this group and to be on your podcast. So I am feeling definitely lucky today.
You know, we were trying to think of your official title, and I came up with Mindset Master. What do you think of that? I think you're a mindset master.
I like that. That's what it's all about. That's what I'm trying to master the mindset and help other people master the mindset minute by minute so they can win it in the minute.
Right, which is what you do. Every day you put out a Win It Minute, which is just a short little video of how people can change or reframe their thoughts, basically. You give a little analogy or you give a little pro tip, and it just kind of helps people start their day right. Is that how you would describe it?
Absolutely. It's just a little bit of inspiration, but motivation. I think we all need this in our day. And, you know, it helps me tremendously because I'm always looking for that little bit of inspiration and then to verbalize it in a video. And I hope that it can help other people because, I mean, our days are hard, no doubt. We always face challenges. But if you can have something to put a smile on your face and start your day in the right way, it can set you up for success tremendously, even if it just takes 1 minute.
We become what we need, right? What we need in life is what we try to become for other people. And that's what you've done. What were you going to say, Jason?
I was just going to say, even going throughout the day, because sometimes I don't catch you first thing in the morning because we have a pretty rigorous morning routine to get us set up for the day. And if I need you in the middle of the day or later in the afternoon, that can help me kind of reset and go back. It reminds me kind of a VCR tape where it's like, okay, I need to hit the pause button. I need on my life. I need to just wait a minute, get into a Win It Minute from Keith and just reflect on some things. And I can always find something that works in an environment in the way Keith kind of frames it up and says, okay, well, this is a great little way to just kind of think on things. And he gets it out. And it becomes
contagious.
Yeah, he gets it out in a minute, maybe 3 minutes.
Little snippets.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. And now I can move forward again. And if it takes 3 hours later, if something else changes and I need to go back to another one, there's so much in the library that I can just go back and rely on.
I hear you. So Keith, I know a little bit of your story, and I also know from Jason in my life, we know what it's like to have the doom loop go this way, but then we also know that if you can move that snowball and get it going in the other direction, then life can be so much better. And many times that's just really in how we perceive our circumstances or perceive our thoughts that we're having or the self-talk that we're having. What is your story? What put you on this whole trajectory? What put you on this positivity path?
Well, I mean, it's been just an amazing confluence of events throughout my life all put together. But the main thing is that I found while I was facing some obstacles like early on in my life. And it was all about our response to the obstacles. And it takes a lot for you to realize this and have that mindset shift. But boiled down in a quick minute, when I was first becoming an adult and becoming a parent, I went through some struggles to have a child first and foremost. And then when me and my wife were able to be lucky enough and blessed enough to have that child through perseverance, through trial and error, a whole lot of things, that then my child was born to us and given to us as a great gift. But then all of a sudden there was a problem with that. He had a heart defect and had to have open heart surgery as a young child. And it was a lot of woe is me, this isn't fair, why us mindset. And this beautiful moment of celebratory life turned into a pity party per se. And I got frustrated and angry at things for a little while, but then I realized that wasn't beneficial or helpful. So I started trying to shift my mindset into how can we overcome this? And I started reading a lot of mindset books and a lot of mindset shift opportunities. And I started seeing the change in my being and the change in my mindset and how it affected then my wife and it affected the people around us. And I felt we all need that mindset shift in life, because if we don't, we can get stuck in reverse. And I think so often in our day, we focus on yesterday, or we focus on this morning, or we focus on tomorrow. We don't focus on the gift of every single day, because every single day is an amazing gift. And I think we waste too much time worrying about yesterday or not being in the minute that we're in today. So I've just taken so much into learning about how taking the mindset shift is the most powerful aspect that we can control. And we can't control events that happen to us. We can't control the events around us, but we can control how those events affect us and how we respond to that.
So, what I heard you say is that there was actually a series of events. There was a series of woe is me. So first there was the we can't get pregnant, we can't have a child. So you kind of went through that obstacle, and then you got through that, and then you have this beautiful child. And then all of a sudden, then you're faced with other challenges of the health problems. Do you kind of feel in some way that those early challenges were almost preparing you for the next set of challenges? It's almost like a resilience muscle.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing, because I think once we kind of grasp the power of our intentions and our mindset, conflict and obstacles are an opportunity for us to learn. And while I wouldn't want to have to go through the obstacles that I faced in the past, or the obstacles that I faced even yesterday, I wouldn't want to have to go through it again. But it's the greatest gift that I ever received, because it was able to transform my mindset. And perseverance is the most powerful human emotion, I believe, is that anyone that's ever accomplished anything in life, anyone that's ever succeeded in anything, had to build up perseverance first and foremost. And everyone goes through conflict. Everyone goes through obstacles. And it can be viewed as the greatest gift. I mean, I can always remember watching videos of Tony Robbins, and people would talk about these obstacles and problems they have. And his response was always like, how great is that? And in the moment, you're like, why would you say that? But you can't become a better version of yourself. You can't grow without obstacles. I mean, it's just like if you're trying to grow big muscles like Jason, you got to do push-ups, and you got to have that.
You're funny.
I don't even wearing pants.
You got to flex that muscle. You got to face that perseverance of doing the push-ups. And 3 push-ups won't do it. It's the 20th or 50th push-up that actually makes that muscle grow. And just like in our life, obstacles and tragedies and bad things that happen to us are opportunities for us to flex that muscle of perseverance and overcome them. And I've always viewed every obstacle that I survived, which to this date is 100% of every obstacle I've ever gone through. I've survived. I'm still here. I'm still alive, as an opportunity to grow from, and that I'm somewhat grateful for going through it.
Yeah. I appreciate that, Keith. And one of the things that you mentioned, or just one of the things I've noticed from your story, and one of the things I've noticed from a lot of the stories that I read in books, is that we read a lot and we hear a lot about the extreme obstacles. So that's a pretty emotionally extreme story of perseverance and getting over that mindset hump when your child has to have open heart surgery at a young age. And I can feel you feeling that woe is me and why me. What I think we need to try to help people with is what your Win It Minute is doing is that those small feelings of woe is me and the little tiny, almost like a minute is full of seconds. And it's just those little tick marks in life that it's like these little tiny things in our head that are like, oh, poor me, these little victimhoods that we let ourselves get numb to, that we sit in and we rest in. And these videos that you put out help people get through that.
You know, the perfect example that I'm thinking of is I watched one video that you gave the analogy of a tree.
Oh, the biosphere.
A tree in the wind. And
we're going to find that link and put it in the...
And you maybe you can help me out here, Keith, but you said that the tree should be grateful for the wind because it helps it build.
It gives the roots,
strength.
Absolutely. It was an amazing study that they tried to create the perfect environment to grow fruit and vegetables, a biosphere of the future. And then all these scientists found that the trees started falling over as it got to a certain height, and they couldn't understand why. And they realized that their roots were not strong enough to hold the tree up at a certain height because it never faced the obstacle of wind to strengthen its roots. And it's so much of our life is that the more obstacles we face, the more it strengthens us. And the more we are able to withstand, the more perseverant we are in life, the more apt and more ready we are for success or for that next level. It's even like playing video games. It's like you cannot go to the next level until you master and beat one level. So you have to keep moving up in life. And if you don't face obstacles or if you don't face challenges head on, you can't move to that next level in life. And it's like if we can control our interpretations, we can control our world. So if you see those obstacles and those challenges as opportunities and you flip it to be like, all right, not woe is me, how can I become better from this and how am I stronger for overcoming it? Then your mindset shifts dramatically.
And along those same lines, even taking that one step further, when you do find gratitude in the things that you perceived to be some of the worst events that have ever happened to you, and you can find gratitude in those moments, it's almost a radical gratitude, then you start realizing you can't go wrong. Like life is working for you. So you might as well start getting out of your own way and getting out of your comfort zone, trying new things, because no matter what happens, it's all good.
Yeah, you're learning or you're growing or you're succeeding.
It's amazing because every obstacle, there's a growth opportunity. And in the moment, we feel that it's not fair. But once you realize that life is not fair for everyone, then you realize it's fair for everyone, actually. But it's amazing because yesterday my son said to me, Daddy, I wish that the coronavirus could stick around for a long time because this has been a great year. And I thought to myself, wow, it's like there's been so many challenges in this past year, but there's also been great opportunities. And we have to view things from every opportunity that comes our way. And even going back to my child, when I was going through that, when he was going through open heart surgery, it shifted my mindset to being like, I want to get him to bed early so that we can relax and watch a little TV, to be just staring at him and be like, my child is breathing. Like, I'm just happy and thankful for that rather than looking to the next aspect.
Yeah, you become grateful for the present.
Absolutely. And if you realize that, like, right now, the quality of life that we're living is higher than 99% of any human being to ever walk the face of this earth. Just to be alive right now in 2021, regardless of what's going on, we have a higher quality of life than 99% of any human being to ever walk the face of this earth. Even Cleopatra or kings and queens back in the day don't have anywhere near the quality of life that we have right now. No matter what the amount of wealth you have, where you are, what country, you are living a higher quality of life than anyone
That makes me feel gratitude right now. I just feel like it's coming out of every orifice. Do I have a little gratitude coming out of my nose right now?
I think so, but I'm not getting you a Kleenex because I like the way gratitude looks on you.
Okay, thanks. So I feel like you are on a very similar path as Jason and I, which I just assume that you read a lot. Do you read a lot, Keith?
Yes, and that's one of the things that the Win a Minute has inspired me is that you got to find little nuggets of inspiration. So I try to read every day. I try to set aside at least 30 to 40 minutes a day to read a book and read at least 2 chapters, 3 chapters a day. But I also have meditation and mindset in the morning. But I do dive down books all the time. And it's amazing how they can help shift your mind. It's one of the most powerful forces, I think, in that endeavor is reading.
Yeah.
What are you reading right now?
I'm actually reading 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos. This guy, it's pretty impressive. This guy had one of the most viewed answers on the meaning of life in Wikipedia. And so he decided to dedicate an entire book to his answers on what the meaning to life is and how it's all about adapting to chaos, because everywhere there's chaos in your everyday life, and if you can adapt to that chaos, you'll be successful.
That's
Go
similar
ahead,
to the book that I just finished reading called Ula, Finding Balanced in an Unbalanced World. So I don't know that it's similar because I wrote that down because we are avid readers. We read a couple of books a month and then listen to books while we're on our workouts. So that's been a game changer for us.
So speaking of chaotic world, what is your pro tip on filtering out some of that chaos? What do you suggest?
Well, gratitude, first thing and foremost, is you have to be grateful for things. And it's you have to realize that we're not in control of the events around us. It's all how we adapt to it. And I get frustrated. I get angry. It's not like I'm without anger or without frustration at any given moment, but you have to realize that it's affecting you. And then you have to step away and kind of simmer down and react in the moment in the best possible way for the future. And it's just starting with gratitude. I mean, you can be stuck in a traffic jam. I've said that before. I was stuck in a traffic jam. I'm getting angry. You're frustrated. You start want to punch your steering wheel. Like, what's going on? Until you get up to that traffic jam, and then you realize, oh, like my day was disrupted by 15 minutes, but this person's life is disrupted. And in that moment, you just have to be thankful and find you can find a reason to be thankful for anything. In fact, I've always wanted to start a video or even like a call-in show where people call in and give you their problems, and then you find a way to tell them how that problem's a blessing. I always find that in my everyday life. I don't think people enjoy that when they tell me their problems when I run into them. And I always be like, oh, wow, that's a great opportunity.
Let me help you reframe this. that person that just cut you off in traffic, well, they're actually teaching you patience.
That's right.
They're probably keeping you from some giant misfortune that's happening a mile up the road. So you should just be thankful that you have a nice little vacation right now in your car, and you can sit and listen to this podcast.
There you go.
Absolutely. See, that's right there. It's like I would have to drive a lot previously, and I always people are like, how can you drive 3 hours to meet with one person or for an appointment? I'd be like, it gives me an opportunity to listen to great podcasts. It gives me an opportunity to talk and catch up with people. And that 3 hours isn't being wasted. I'm utilizing it because I realize instead of complaining about having to be in traffic or driving for 3 hours, I realize that, hey, there's I can't accomplish anything by stirring in that frustration and anger. So what can I make good of this? How can I make good of the moment? And that's, if you can see the good in every moment, there is good in every opportunity in every moment. If you have to read something or listen to a great podcast, it gets you in the right frame of mind. I mean, a podcast, a video, reading just a quote. I mean, that's one thing that inspired me the most, is that you can stand on the shoulders of giants in this world just by reading quotes or reading how other people overcame things.
Just reading affirmations, just changing that self-talk in your mind, saying, I am awesome.
Yeah. And just having those to see those spark so much different types of imagination in my mind. One of the other videos that you did said the most powerful nation in the world, and I love it. It blew my mind. You said the most powerful nation in the universe is imagination. And I was like, whoa!
Yeah, you did.
Whoa, drop the mic.
In fact, we might be putting that up on our wall.
And
we might be stealing that from you.
I'm sure that probably came from somewhere, or you may have just came up with that on your own. But I was like, that is so fantastic, because just reading through 5 or 6 quotes a day, if you don't want to read books, read through 5 or 6 inspirational quotes a day. That's going to spark your imagination. That's going to change your life after a couple of weeks. It will absolutely change your life.
One last thing, Keith. Do you find that the more you concentrate on your own mindset and really putting yourself in the right direction, do you find that it affects the people around you? It affects your family members. It affects your colleagues, your friends, your whole stratosphere. Are you finding that?
100%. And it's beautiful for me to see, because you may not see it in the moment, but it just takes little words, little tidbits from a friend or a neighbor that you run into, and they're, oh, I saw that video and I really enjoyed it, or the way Jason and you quote my videos, it fires me up. But then you see the output of your work. But I also get this incredible blessing because I have 3 little children running around that I can use my little mind set triggers on, and I can see the effect immediately. Adults are harder to read in the moment, but you can see the effects, and I kind of feel maybe my kids will be in therapy years from now, because they're like, my dad was always playing mind tricks on me. They're like my little test. I don't know.
But there is no try. There's only do.
No,
but it's
I'm telling you,
like on an airplane when they say, put the air mask on yourself first before you help others. We all have to work on ourselves first and foremost before we can help others. And that's where this whole journey came from, is I want to help others. I'm so fired up to help other people live a more meaningful, more happy life. But I can't do that until I make myself right, or I read something to help inspire other people. If they're not going to read, then I'm going to read for them and try to, portray that message to them.
My dad was a basketball coach growing up, and he listened to a lot of coaching videos, and he listened to a lot of Zig Ziglar and a lot of those self-development. Well, they were cassette tapes at the time, but we would listen to them in the car. And then I just had the residual effect of sitting in the back seat doing my homework. But my subconscious was picking up on
Earl Nightingale,
on a lot of what was being said. And so I feel like your kids, they're sponging it all in. They're taking it all in. And one day they're going to be very, very grateful.
And it's like a candle. Doing good anywhere is doing good everywhere. We heard that from one of our other guests.
Yes. Keith, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, wherever you are, if you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, just the Win It Minute or Win It Minute Keith, anything with the Win It Minute in it, you're going to find me. And that's where my videos go out, and I'm there. Facebook is probably the easiest. I'd love to connect with people, or Instagram, YouTube, Win It Minute.
The Win It Minute.
Awesome. He'll keep your mind right?
Yep. Best drug there is.
Yes. What's the best nation?
Imagination.
Thank you, Keith. We appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
Have a great day, everybody. Live lucky.
Yeah.
How about a few Pistol Pete's? And a wave to the camera.